As an alternative to looping with for, we can also loop with while loop. The difference is subtle. With for, you generally get a fixed number of loops, one for each item in the range, like using a range or each item in a list, or also each character in a string. With a while loop, the loop keeps going on as long as some condition. So while condition will be true. Okay. So here is the syntax for while loop. So we have while, so it will be doing like doing this, do this, and then this will be done when loop is done. Okay, so it is just continuation of the program after the while. So with while loops, we have to make sure that the condition that makes a stop, okay, or it will eventually, like, it does not stop, it will just run uh, in an infinity loop that keeps on going on and on and on and on until some error is caused to fail it, or also maybe we have to manually force quit it. Okay, so like forcing the app to close or shutting down the system itself. So such things. So in an always in a while loop, we have to make sure that there is a condition where the loop eventually will stop. Okay, so we'll be seeing examples uh, soon. Also, the easy and common mistake to make is this, like in many kind of loop, is just forgetting what should be the condition and when the condition will be going off. Okay, so we'll be seeing with an example. And also similar to for loop, we have while loop which continue. So you can so a while loop keeps going while a variable can be like a counter can be counted which is less than 10 or something, and inside the loop the variable name number gets random value from 1 to 20, 999. So whenever you get this condition satisfied, you can just ignore it, something like that. We'll be seeing example of it. And also similarly, we can break out of while loops with a break statement. Okay, so I hope like you just recall with respect to the for loop, and again with respect to the conditions, it will be like similar to how we did for loop. So the only difference is in for loop we will be giving a set of fixed number of iterations, whereas in while loop it will be looping until a condition holds true. Okay, once it becomes false, then the loop will terminate. So I have created a Python script with the name of while loop. So let us start how we can do. So maybe I just want to print out all the alphabetic keys. Okay. So if you recall the ASCII table, the alphabet A, capital letter A, will hold a ASCII value of 65. Okay. So we can just have a counter which should start from 65. Okay. And we can have a condition like while. So let me just zoom in a bit. So while counter is greater than, or maybe we are incrementing, right? So lesser than z value. Okay, so z value is 90, so we will be giving us 91. Okay, so semicolon and enter. So here we can just print out the loop. So what we will be doing is uh, print. Shall we keep it as a string of our counter? So it will just display our number. So you can just have counter comma also. So for concatenation, I'm just converting into string by using str plus. Now here I want to get the correct ASCII value. So before that, let me just give a hyphen or something to just specify, and plus. So notice I'm giving spaces over here so that it is not attached. Okay, so maybe equal to would be better than hyphen. So now what we can do is there is another function known as chr. Okay, so this will convert ASCII values into sorry, it will convert a number into ASCII value. Okay, so if ASCII equivalent value. Okay, so I have a number 65. So ASCII equivalent value will be printed. So that is capital letter A. So counter. Okay, so this will loop. Now what I can do is maybe out of the loop I can tell as print uh, done with while loop. Okay, while loop completed, something like that. Okay, so most common mistake what happens here is we have assigned counter as 65 and we are checking the condition the counter as 91. Okay, So the easy and most common mistake is we will forget to increment our counter, right? So our counter should increase such a way that we are printing all the characteristics from 65, 66 until 90. Okay. So for that we will be making the increment within the while loop itself. So always because it is repeating until this condition is going false. Okay. So until and unless this is false, the while loop will be repeating. So once it is false, then it will be executing out of the loop. So this condition will remain true forever if we don't increment our counter. So we will be using counter equal to counter plus 1. Okay. And for this such kind of increments, Python will allow something known as plus equal to. Okay. So this basically this is same as counter plus counter equal to counter plus 1, or it is telling counter equal to counter plus 1. So that's how it is working. So it is just for simplification, that's how the creators of Python has come up with. So let us just save this and execute. Okay. So here it is telling the character value of 65 is A. So until Z it is telling the same thing. So, okay. So you can see that is how we have been done. So now that is with respect to just looping around. Okay. And what if we need to like loop around with a continuous statement? So maybe I just wanna skip a few of the conditions over here. So maybe if at all, I just want to like get all the values, but except maybe a few set of numbers in between. I just want to skip those. So what I can do is maybe I'll skip the first ABCD itself. Okay. So for that, I'll just check whether my counter is greater than like after if it is greater than only I have to execute. So basically, if it is lesser than 70, okay. So A B C D E. If it is lesser than 70, I will just continue. Okay. So I won't be printing my A B C D E. So once it becomes 71, even if won't be printed because 70 is not lesser than 70. And here I am having if condition. So don't forget the condition. So if counter is lesser than 70, just continue. It is not going to print this. So let us just execute that. Okay, can you tell me what is happening over here? So basically, whenever it is coming to this condition, it is going to continue, and our increment is not happening. Okay. So for that reason, again, we need to force stop. So you can just click here, Control C. So that is like a keyboard interrupt. So this is a most common newbie mistake. So that's why I wanted to just show that. So even in this condition, I can have it over here. Okay. Or you can do the increment right at the beginning, but you will miss out the value 64. So basically 65. So A. So maybe you can have 64 as here and you can start incrementing at the beginning. Else you can have multiple counter increments whenever the condition is lesser than 70. So let me save that and execute. So now it is printing from 70. Okay. So whenever this 70 is lesser than 70, the condition is not satisfied. So from F it will be executing. So maybe I just want to stop it under after U. Okay. So I want to print until U, and after that I don't want anything to be printed. So here I can have another condition. If counter, if it is maybe you can have it before also. So like maybe here only you can change it as 84 just for seeing how exactly our break statement works. I'm giving this example. So if it is greater than uh, 85, okay. So at that scenario, break out of the loop. Okay. So let us just quickly save that and execute. So here as I was telling, it will be starting from 70 and it is ending at 85. So that's how continue and break statement works. So I hope everyone has understood how exactly our while loops work. And also this is a very simple example which I have taken. So maybe you can take assessments such as like creating uh, uh, maybe printing from 1 to 100, and out of which if at all you have odd numbers, you will be just like you will continue. So basically you don't want to print odd numbers. So think about it how that can be done without using for loop. In for loop you had a step function, right? So using a while loop, just think around how that can be done. And also maybe for break statement, if at all it exceeds out of 100, so maybe here you don't give a you give lesser than 1000 or something like that, but give a condition where the counter reaches 100, you can just break out of the loop. Or maybe you are getting an abnormal condition. So maybe if you can go and think about it and also try to execute. So that's all from this video.